Hello, Gavin.
Hello, Louie.
It's nice to see you again.
It's good to see you.
It's been a little bit.
Yeah, we took like a nice little vacay. Yeah.
Summer vacay.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're back.
Yeah.
We're back again. Welcome, everyone, to the Mixed Reviews. This is a very special 50th episode, anniversary, celebration, extravaganza.
Oh, Louie, you don't look over 47.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've been creaming.
Yeah.
Sexually.
I knew it was coming, and yet I still wasn't prepared.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, welcome to the Mixed Reviews. We are a podcast in which we talk about films, and we usually pick a actor, director, or a mini genre when we talk about the bad and we talk about the good, and then we tell you what we want in the future.
Yeah.
But because this is the 50th episode,
we're doing something different today.
Exactly. We're being a little loosey-goosey.
Yeah, so this episode we won't have a rewind, we won't have a fast forward, we won't even have picks, really.
Yeah, though I can tell you about some bad stuff if you want.
Yeah, we can talk about some bad stuff. We can still mix it up. I just thought it'd be good. We've been doing this for, is it over 2 years now?
Yeah, over 2 years. We started in
March 15th, 2017 was our first episode.
You were a fresh, brand new New Yorker.
Yeah.
Do you regret it?
Take me home, someone. Gavin's keeping me here.
As of next month, I will have been here for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a veteran.
Yeah. And let me tell you, the MTA didn't used to be this bad.
Really?
This is really bad.
Somehow it got worse.
It got worse. That's a little insider New York for you. Everywhere else, just feel free to turn the podcast off right now.
Before we get going, though, we did have a really excellent episode last time where we talked about drag on film and kind of celebrating, Pride and kind of an extension of our queer on film episode that we did 1 year ago. And we had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, and absolutely, and I said this off mic, but I'm going to put it on record. We would not have done that episode without Louie.
Aww.
And it was Louie's suggestion 100%, and he deserves all the credit for it because I think it's a really fantastic episode.
100%.
So. Pure Louie.
So we asked you to go online and vote for your favorite drag movie. And so coming in first place was Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which was my pick, 54%. Hedwig and the Angry Inch was your pick, came in at 37%. The Queen came in at 4%, and Other had 5% polling. We had a couple people send us messages.
We actually got a DM from Van saying, I'm not sure if I missed it, but I think a kind of interesting example of, quote, dressing in male drag to circumvent societal structures is Mulan. Similar to Yentl, actually.
Yes.
Completely agree. Thank you very much for that message. I need to respond to that, actually.
Yeah.
But that's very well thought out.
We didn't mention Mulan.
No, we didn't. I think... I don't know about you, but in my headspace, I'm like, oh, animated. And
it didn't even come
think about it.
into mind. But we did talk about Yentl.
Yes.
And I guess we have a new Mulan coming out soon. So I wonder and see how Disney will handle that. It looks like the movie's going to be a little bit more like historical, less musical.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm kind of down for that.
We'll see.
I did get called out for including the Queen because they were like, most people have not seen it. But I didn't want to put Tu Wong Fu on there. And I really, when we put Other out there, I really want to see what other people have. Keith Walker said some like it hot, and not just because he has a tattoo of it. And then he DM'd me the tattoo.
Wow,
it's very nice. It's nice. I'll show it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
And then we got a bunch of votes for Pink Flamingos.
Oh yeah, the great GIF.
Yeah.
Where was I? Derek's hosting game. This is a quiz show on Scruff, and they did a question about what did Divine eat off the floor. They had a gif of her eating the poop off the floor, and I was in the audience with a bunch of other gays who hadn't seen the movie, and they all clutched their pearls, could not believe.
Sorry, Marys.
Are you even queer?
Yeah. Have you never eaten dog shit before?
I mean, hello, it's 2019. Get it together.
But yeah, so that was it was a really interesting mix. I actually think it's one of the more well responded to polls.
Oh, polls. Yes.
That we've ever had. And I don't know, that was really, really exciting.
Well, I think those movies are really special to like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially the queer community. And I think those movies are the entry for a lot of people into like that world. Like I mentioned on the last episode, I had no idea what drag was when I watched Queen of the Desert. And so, yeah, I think I know a lot of people who like rewatch. Those movies are infinitely rewatchable. And yeah, hope you guys liked it. So let's move along into this episode then.
Absolutely.
So like I said, we're being very loosey-goosey, but I thought we should take it all the way back to March 15th, our first episode, what was about Kirsten Dunst. It's a very truncated.
Yeah, I wanna give a disclaimer. I have not listened to that episode since I edited it. Mm-hmm. If you have any issues with that episode, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, like, we didn't really know what the show was yet. Right. I don't think we had, like, the format.
We did not have a format. We were very amorphous. I feel like we didn't get our format until, like, episode 6, around Hathaway time, you know?
And that's what's crazy. Hathaway was episode 4.
Oh, 4?
Yeah, I think after those first couple of episodes, I was like, Gavin, we need to get it together. But, so, I mentioned to you earlier, I finally watched Elizabethtown.
Yes.
For Kirsten Dunst. And my God, if I was going to redo my picks for a 1-star review for Kirsten Dunst, I might have to change it to Elizabethtown.
Did you not love it?
I did not love it.
Louisville, Kentucky, huh? Home, business, or family?
My dad.
Oh, where does he live in Louisville?
Actually, he's near Louisville.
Louisville.
Louisville. Louis.
Vol.
He's in Elizabethtown.
Oh, good. Hope someone's driving you because the roads around there are hopelessly and gloriously confusing. Louisville.
I'll keep that in mind.
Who? Someone like famous made this movie, right?
Do you really not know?
I could not tell you. It's like it was like a very like the movie was trying to be very important, and it felt like it had pedigree of like, what's that Tom Cruise movie? Oh, Jerry Maguire.
It's the same directors, Cameron Crowe.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I literally just pulled that out of my ass because I got the same feel. I was like, this person thinks they're making a very important movie.
I will say this. This is gonna get me in trouble in some circles. Cameron Crowe is overrated. Yes.
What is he known for beyond Jerry Maguire?
So he did Say Anything, which is a movie people love, and a movie I have said for years could use an editor.
People love that movie for the
John Cusack boombox in your eyes.
It's essentially like that movie is like memeable, like for the memes.
100%. Jerry Maguire. Almost Famous, which is a great movie.
Okay.
So I don't really have an issue with that. Singles, he wrote Singles. He did Vanilla Sky, which I know is not high up on people's list.
Yeah.
After Elizabethtown was sort of the like I feel like it was like Almost Famous, peak Crow.
Yeah.
Vanilla Sky. Ooh no. Yeah. Oh, Elizabethtown. Oh no. Oh no. We Bought a Zoo. Oh god.
He made We Bought a Zoo.
Yeah. And Aloha.
Wow.
Starring everyone's favorite Asian actress, Emma Stone.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You just feel with this movie, it's like it's trying to be a big think. It's like there's like the voiceover. There's like Alec Baldwin being, rich and like powerful.
I will give it this, and my friends over at the B-Side podcast will appreciate this. Alec Baldwin, best part of that movie.
I agree. Oh, also everyone's favorite racist, Paula Deen is in this movie.
Yes!
I was like, what a special time when that movie came out, Orlando Bloom was popular.
What a special
Paula Deen
time.
wasn't a racist yet. And literally Cameron Crowe was like, you know what? Are they even in the South? Oh, they're in Kentucky, right? The thing that kind of bothered me most is like they're romanticizing, rural neighborhoods and the whole like literally on this flight with nobody but him and Kirsten Dunst as the fucking stewardess. It's dumb. Like that's not how that works. And then the whole just like when you roll into the neighborhood and your dad was so revered that everyone's on their porch just waving and has signs up and they just want to pat you on the back and I'm like, girl, these people have lives. I don't give a fuck. Like people die every day. Like whatever big thing Cameron Crowe was trying to have about this, we'll say it was funny seeing the band play and the Eagle on Fire.
Yes.
But then quickly made very stupid by Kirsten Dunst doing like the airline directions for them to exit the burning thing. All that to say,
You didn't think that's funny? You didn't think you didn't laugh out loud?
All I will say is I don't think I chose right for my 1-star review, even though the Raven was 2.
It was The Crow
2.
3.
3?
Yeah, because not Stairway to Heaven. That's the TV show. City of Angels is the second movie. Salvation, Crow Salvation.
Yeah. That's
the-
what I originally picked. I picked this, and also I will say I don't think I sold Bachelorette as good as much as I should have.
Yeah,
Bachelorette
and I've
is
come
so
around
good.
a little more on Bachelorette. I think I was maybe a little too harsh on it. Only because I've liked almost everything that the person who wrote Bachelorette has made sense. So maybe I understand her a bit better. Maybe I just need to be a little older and bitter.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, now that we're older and sadder about life,
Yes.
but also know that there's nothing we can do about it.
Before we move on from Kirsten Dunst, there's been one movie that came out since we did her episode that she did, which is Woodshock. Came out in 2017. Not a fun movie if you're sad.
Okay.
It's a movie about a woman who helps her mother, assists her mother in suicide. Her mother is dying of cancer by giving her a laced joint, and then she accidentally gives one to somebody else and kills him, and goes into a deep grief spiral and has decided to kill herself by lacing 5 joints and slowly smoking them throughout the rest of the film. And it's like very strange and visionary. She was an executive producer on it.
Huh.
It was 2 women who directed it. It was their very first film. They're like heir to a fashion line, so the entire movie is gorgeous. Like absolutely.
So they look stunning when they're dying.
But I mean, not only the outfit, like the look of the film. She does this weird like levitating thing in the woods because there's like a lot of hallucinatory image and
Oh my God.
I don't know. It's not an amazing film.
Okay.
It's like a 3-star movie, but I think it's worth a look. Especially her performance. She's really fantastic.
Yeah, I do love that she's like not just being fucking weird.
Well, that's one thing I think is sort of interesting is that, a lot of people when they get that big comeback moment, because that's also the same year she did the Sofia Coppola movie. And so what's interesting about that, I think, is a lot of times stars will go on, a hiatus and come back in a big way, and they'll do something big and then something small. And I kind of love that she decided to come back only doing small things, only things that she was passionate about. And I think that's interesting for her and says a lot about who Kirsten Dunst actually is.
Yeah, I love that she's like, okay, I made my Spider-Man money.
Yeah.
Like, I've done Dumb Girls. I've done, like, her rom-coms or whatever. And, I mean, no shade on rom-coms. We all know I love a good rom-com. But I think she's fully just like, I'm getting older and I want to do interesting, weird stuff.
Absolutely.
Good for her.
Moving on, Will Smith was our second episode.
Cannot believe.
The fucking cojones.
I know, the nerve.
Just looking back at us, I would like want to hit myself with a newspaper on the nose and say, no,
Yeah.
no, don't do that.
I don't know why we chose him.
We needed someone. And,
yeah.
And we want people to listen. But I will say Will Smith is having a grand old time. Aladdin has just become his highest grossing film ever. It just crossed 1
Which
billion.
is insane because I think a lot of people thought that Aladdin would be a flop compared to Lion King. But nope, people loved Aladdin.
Yeah, so... And it's funny because it seems like people are really disappointed in The Lion King.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because they don't like the photorealistic because you can't do a lot of animated faces and...
Yeah,
Yeah.
super bizarre that how the turns have tabled. I will quickly say, going on to our third episode, Richard Linklater, I saw Last Flag Flying, definitely near the bottom of his oeuvre. That's how you say it.
Very good. Neither of us are drinking this episode.
I know.
Just
It's just hot. But yeah, Last Flag Flying, just another thing where Steve Carell tried to win an Oscar.
yeah.
And it was not good.
Yeah. He has a movie coming out this summer called Where Did You Go, Bernadette?
Yeah.
Everything I've heard about it is not good.
Right. I mean, they keep moving the release date.
Right. It was, I believe, supposed to come out in February. I actually believed it had come out and nobody saw it, but it's coming out in August.
Yeah.
And an August release date for a movie like that is essentially saying it sucks.
Right, because it's not like far enough into award season.
Right.
And it's like kind of the end of the blockbuster season. This movie is not a blockbuster. Like, it's, I don't know who this movie is for.
You'll never guess what happened. She disappeared. Bernadette jumped out a window.
There's one answer to all of your problems. Get your ass back to work.
What's really funny is Parker Posey in her autobiography, and this was just told to me. I've not read it yet. Dan has been reading it. She writes a chapter about how she doesn't understand how she's like not playing the game right. And so she met the author of the book, Where Did You Go, Bernadette, at a party that Richard Linklater was throwing and was like, I love your book. I think I'd be perfect for the lead role. And the author was like, oh, but there's this side character I think you'd be really perfect for. And Parker Posey was like, no, I think I'd be really good for the lead. And the author just sort of disappeared.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The author was like, actually, I do have Cate Blanchett's personal phone number.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't want to like go in negative to a film, but the trailer looks like, yeah.
I just don't know who that movie's for, but we'll see. We'll see. Skipping ahead, we did Anne Hathaway, did we Whoopi Goldberg?
Can I just mention Anne Hathaway? Since we did this episode, she did Ocean's 8, which we talked about for Sandra Bullock, and she did The Hustle. Mm-hmm. And The Hustle. I have to say, I still think you should fire your agent, Anne.
Yeah, we still haven't really found the sweet spot, girl.
I think she's very funny, and I know you didn't like Ocean's 8 at all.
No.
But like I thought she was very funny.
Ocean's 9?
No.
Is it 8?
8,
okay.
yeah.
I was like, how many are there? Whatever.
I thought she was very funny playing like a...
She was the best part of it,
yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. But The Hustle, girl...
That was
I didn't see it, and I love Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, but nary was there a good review.
Yeah, that was
film.
a swing and a miss.
Yeah, and for Whoopi Goldberg, if we were sticking to our normal format, which we are not, I will say, was in one of the worst movies I watched to catch up, which was a film that came out last year called Nobody's Fool, directed by Tyler Perry.
Of course. Okay, listen, talking about Tyler Perry.
Yes.
I've seen, there's a lot of, so right now is a great time for African-American theater.
Yes.
And a lot of it seems to be pointed towards Tyler Perry and how he has this monopoly on the game, not only in theater, but in movies, and how, maybe the negative impact of his point of view and what they make people believe, that it all has to be. On another podcast, they were talking to the creator of Dear White People.
Yes.
And he talked about, Tyler Perry ended up calling him because he, for a long time, had been shitting on Tyler Perry. And so there's a lot of good conversation and interesting conversation around here. And essentially this guy just being like, it's not, I shouldn't be shitting on Tyler Perry. It's the system. And we all have to, as black people, have to, game the system, blah, blah, blah. All that being said, that's fine and good, and of course there's inequality for POC people and minorities to get things made, but I don't think that excuses a lot of what Tyler Perry has done.
Right.
And it's like, you can't just be like, you know what, you're right. When you punish people with AIDS in your shows and movies,
right.
That's playing the system. No.
Part of the problem with the movie Nobody's Fool is it's first of all, great opening sequence, by the way, and it's just the main character dancing to Janet Jackson, and I'm all for that. So it stars Tika Sumpter, and she is a woman who's put together and everything, and her sister, played by Tiffany Haddish, gets out of prison, and their mom, played by Whoopi Goldberg, is like, she can't come live with me, she's got to come live with you. And, the prison sister turns her mannered life upside down, and she starts sleeping with a man that also went to prison, and she's like, I can't love him because of prison. At the same time, she has a long distance boyfriend who she's really being catfished by, and when she meets him, it's Chris Rock in a wheelchair, and the joke is that he's super dirty, but also the joke is that he's in a wheelchair, and why is that acceptable in
Chris
2018?
Rock?
Yeah.
Someone called favors, and
yes. And then you find out later that Chris Rock was a college roommate of the guy that plays Jimmy Olsen on Supergirl, so he's the real guy, but he turns out to be a real asshole. But it gets really moralistic in the way that Tyler Perry movies do, and essentially this guy reams the main character out because he's like, well, you're judging me because I went to prison, and you need to judge a book by its cover. But then it continues to the point where he's almost being like, you owe me because you have judged me in this way.
Right.
And it's the weirdest thing because it's always he finds the right message and takes the wrong route to it.
Well, because I think he feels like he needs to have the twist,
right.
take the turn, and it's like, girl, sometimes it's just not that hard.
Right.
You're trying. It's too much.
So Whoopi was maybe the best part of it, and you can tell that Whoopi and Tiffany Haddish improv'd a lot of their lines because they're the only ones that have anything funny to say.
Why did she put you out?
She mad at me because she got catfish.
I guess you just gotta call her.
Mama, I just told you she put me out.
Huh? You know, it's so funny. This connection is so rickety. Hello?
What? Mama, you in the window.
I can't hear you, baby. I can't hear. Oh, my
Mama.
goodness, I can't hear you. I don't
Mama,
know
stop
what's
playing.
happening. The whole thing is
Mama,
all
don't
messed
play
up.
like that. Mama, where am I stay? Mama, where am I gonna stay? Mama. Mom. Mama.
That sounds about right.
But it's still just like, Whoopi, stop working with Tyler Perry. Because she could work with anybody.
Right.
You know?
I wonder if she even likes working anymore.
Let him elevate somebody else, you know?
We did our Miyazaki episode, which I'll quickly just say, I know this is not a Miyazaki movie, but through this episode, I ended up watching Grave of Fireflies. Holy shit. Amazing movie. Everyone should watch this. Like they should show this movie like
It should be taught in schools.
It's incredible. Do yourself a favor and get that into your brains. We did Selma Hayek, who we'll see in Eternals.
Yes.
Next year.
Selma Hayek is in. This is the one that I would. If we were doing 1-star reviews.
Okay.
Selma Hayek is in my least favorite film of this year.
Oh, already.
Yeah, it's a movie. I mean, I doubt I will see a worse film than this. It's a movie called Drunk Parents.
Drunk Parents.
And it is her and Alec Baldwin.
Hate it already.
It was shot in 2016 and it sat on a shelf where it should have stayed.
Yeah.
And it's like a movie that is maybe 70% child molestation jokes.
Oh, good.
Which I thought was a weird thing to do.
Do you think they made this on the eve or like on the after the like bad moms like whole thing?
I think so, but I don't really know how. Like Jim Gaffigan plays a man that tries to rent their house in it, and he is a registered sex offender. And you find out that his story, like, it's unjustified, but there's so many jokes that lead up to it about child molestation. The other thing that the movie does that...
Nothing I find more funny, honestly.
The other thing the movie does that kills me is when you find a joke that's not funny and then you double down on it and then you triple down on it.
Yeah.
One of the jokes the movie loves is Selma Hayek is so stressed she's wearing 2 pairs of Spanx. It's a double pair of Spanx day. And they bring this joke up many times.
Is that Spanx over tights?
Yes, I'm double spanking. Do you have to scream it to the world?
Because right about now, I'd like to have a pair of really tight Spanx around my fucking neck.
And most of the times it's verbal, but there's this one joke about spiders crawling out of a wig she's wearing. Sorry, that's the police coming to arrest me.
Out of a wig she's wearing?
Yeah, it's every joke has a million pieces and it's not funny. But as the spiders are attacking her, she falls to the floor. Her skirt comes up and you can see she's wearing double Spanx.
No, oh my god, 2 Spanx?
Yeah, 2 Spanx. I don't know. I feel bad for everybody involved in that. I mean, Joe Manganiello's in the movie as well. And he's playing their brother-in-law, and I'm forgetting his name, Ben Platt.
Ben Platt?
Yeah, Ben Platt.
Was this a Platt production?
Yes.
It might have.
I don't think so.
I feel like, I mean, and this is no shade to him, he's very talented, but I feel like everything he's in, his dad produces.
Yeah, Dear Evan Hansen. No. Love Gavin.
Okay, first of all, if you haven't even seen and cried at Dear Evan Hansen, don't talk about it. Not in front of me, Gavin.
But yeah, Drunk Parents.
Don't do it.
If there's one thing you come away from this episode of Mixed Reviews,
Drunk Parents is your new 1-star review for Selma.
Yeah. Don't watch Drunk Parents.
Then we did Pixar, which there's been some new Pixar movies. I honestly...
Mostly sequels.
I gotta say, I have such little interest in watching another Toy Story movie.
I do too. And people seem to like it, but like I didn't go out to see it. I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I did finally watch The Incredibles 2, and I liked it.
Yeah,
but it's also watered down. It like replaced the tension of. By the way, the first Incredibles movie is so adult.
Yeah, it's very good.
the tension of Bob possibly having an affair is replaced in the second movie with a dated, like, can a man raise his children? And I get the movie's a period piece. I get that The Incredibles set in the 60s, which I constantly forget. But, like, that plot line is so bad.
Yeah. The best part of that movie is Jack just fighting a raccoon, okay? So
yeah, 100%. And that's a Pixar short in the middle of a film.
Yeah, totally. We did Joan Crawford, which we loved.
Yeah, and she's still dead.
She's still dead. So we did Charlize. I saw her in Long Shot.
I also saw Long Shot now.
And I liked it. I think she's fucking amazing.
Well, she's 100% my favorite thing. I don't think any of the actors are... I thought it was a fine movie. It's like a 3-star movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a really solid second act. And that sounds like a diss... But, like, I didn't love I thought the first act was shaky, and I thought the third act was real bad. But I thought the second act was so charming, and the chemistry she actually has with Seth Rogen, the chemistry that she has with June Diane Raphael, who plays her assistant, is so good. Like she's Charlize Theron is.
They asked her to do a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the whole like juggling and walking the line of like, I'm high as fuck, but I'm also like running for president.
Yeah,
and then I'm also like, they asked her to do a lot, and it could have been very stupid and dumb.
Yeah.
But I thought she fucking nailed all of it. So, Charlize, we love.
Do you like date?
Yeah, I date. Generally, with people who have similar lifestyles to me, people who travel a lot. It's hard to keep those things alive. I mean, who wants to follow me around the world and hope I have 5 minutes to be affectionate?
Yeah.
And honestly, guys don't really want to date women who are more powerful than them. They think they do, but it's a Dick Shriveler.
Oof. Dick Shriveler is my favorite Batman villain, though, so... You gonna ask why I'm still single?
No, I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah, it adds up.
She was also in another movie called Gringo that came out last year, and I still don't think anybody's seen it.
Nope.
Not a single person I know.
It's available on Amazon Prime, but I will not. Then we did Buddy Cop Films, your favorite episode, famously. Stephen King.
Stephen King, who has It Chapter 2 coming out this year. Now, for those who have not listened to the Stephen King episode, we talk specifically about Stephen King film adaptations.
Yes.
Which doesn't necessarily mean his involvement, but I kind of like the way that we did that. It Chapter 2 comes out at the end of the summer in September, but he did have another film come out earlier this year, which was Pet Sematary, the remake.
That's right. That's right.
I gotta say, it's hot garbage, mama.
Ooh,
yeah,
mama.
It is not good. There's nothing. I don't love the original movie, but I don't understand the idea of remaking something if you're not bringing anything new to the table. And the only thing that new that they brought to the table was instead of killing the son, the daughter dies instead. And I don't know.
Yeah,
it just wasn't. The scares weren't there. The story, and like that's maybe one of Stephen King's most disturbing books.
So
it just
take note, Lion King. You should have fucking thrown Nala out there and have her become the king. Okay, that's a take.
Wouldn't it be great if Beyonce was just the voice of Simba and then nobody mentioned it?
Yeah, and everyone was like, "That's right.
Yeah,
that sounds good." After that, we did Diego Luna, who we just want to make out with all the time. We did Witches on Film. You know what? I've done a lot for this podcast because I'm not a spooky bitch, and I watched some spooky ass shit for you.
Yeah, you did.
I went and saw fucking It with you.
You did,
and you laughed at me.
Yeah,
as I screamed.
As of today, I currently made plans to see the sequel. So if you want to come,
and so you could laugh at me again. We did the Universal Monsters. So that was the year we did 2 Halloween episodes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get you to do it again. I'm gonna try.
This year we're doing 3.
And there hasn't been any move on the Universal Monsters front other than the fact that Blumhouse is doing An Invisible Man and hopefully going to kind of refigure their plans for the quote-unquote dark universe. But, you can't force that thing. No. You can't... it seems like the Godzilla people are learning their lesson too, because I don't think the second Godzilla movie did that great, though I just watched it and I had a lot of fun. Okay. Not a good movie, but fun.
It's fun.
But like I feel like you can't. So we talked about The Mummy on that episode with
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, and it's real bad. And
We talked about The Mummy there, and then we also talked about it in the Rachel Weisz episode.
yeah. Well, that mummy is good.
Yeah, we love that Mummy.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Are you my mummy?
What was I just listening to? They're talking about The Mummy and how good it is, and how
was it Us?
It was Us. This is Us. Tuesdays on NBC. In Entertainment Weekly, they did an oral history because it's like the 20th anniversary of the movie or something.
Right.
Saying just like how incredibly hard it was to make that movie. Even
sand, it gets everywhere.
Yeah, thank you. Selling that movie to like investors and producers and being like, "You want to do what now?" And like he's gonna look. So it's truly a. We are blessed to have that movie, and who knows where the Universal Monsters will go next.
But I'm very curious to see Blumhouse's Invisible Man. You know, I feel like that's. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I feel like that's the path to go. The kind of low budge.
For sure. Yeah. Sam Rockwell, who famously now has an Oscar.
Yes, yeah. We willed it into existence.
Who famously now has an Oscar and also just like has found this weird niche of playing racists.
Yeah. Well, I also love the fact that we're like, if you go back and listen to the Sam Rockwell episode, we were kind of like, about that movie. We're like, we had fun in the theater, and I feel like now we're both like, no, that movie's bad.
Well, it's funny. So I, through this also have discovered YouTube film people.
Yes.
And their content. There's one guy who I really enjoy.
Do it for the content.
I'm doing it for the content. This one guy that I really enjoy, he talks about how he actually really likes Three Billboards. And he says, the conversation around like redemption is very real and like who deserves it and who should get it. His defense of the movie is that like no one in the movie really is redeemed. They are all broken. They are all awful people. And there's never like, there's no saving grace for them.
Right.
And I remember we talked about, I was like, there are some acts of violence in that movie that are shocking, jarring, horrifying. But yeah, I mean, it's not.
I still just feel tonally it doesn't fully work. I get that. I'm for like I have no problem. I think that's where a lot of and this is maybe a deeper conversation. I think that's where a lot of people get upset, where they think like film reviewers seem to believe that a movie's morality has to line completely up with their own morality, and that's not true. There are characters I hate in movies that I love those movies still.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to share my same values. But I do think there are certain worldviews that feel more toxic than others when I'm watching a movie. And that movie, like on the back end, began to like seep into me like, oh, this is maybe not
right.
Because like in the end, I don't care that they don't, that they are still broken and everything. I still like don't feel fulfilled either way if they had been redeemed.
I think what we had talked about was this like the Woody Harrelson plot line is like kind of like weirdly
it's its own short film in the middle of that movie.
And then also I mentioned
much like Jack and a raccoon.
it's a Pixar short.
It's the same thing.
We'll move along.
Real quick before we move out of Sam Rockwell, I do want to mention you mentioned Best of Enemies
with
Taraji. Yeah, which Taraji, and I didn't see it. I have not wanted to see it, especially since it came out so close to Green Book and everybody was just like, this again?
Yeah.
But honestly, if they'd released it first, it could have won Best Picture,
I know.
guys.
The thing, like, it was very bizarre. I was like, the timing is insane.
Yeah.
It almost feels like whatever production company that made that movie was like, oh, fuck, we could have put this out in November and it would have been great.
Right, absolutely.
But they thought it was trash and put it out in like, whatever, February.
Yeah. He's also since gone on to do his first long TV show or longer form.
Fosse Verdon.
Yeah. And to be honest, like this is not to take away from him, but literally the only things I've heard about that show is Michelle Williams. So
when is that episode coming?
Yeah. Oh, we gotta.
We did Super Team movies, which Avengers came out. Cool.
Avengers came out, and they just keep coming out.
They keep coming out.
They're gonna keep coming out. One of our listeners, Jane, did drop us a line to say, "Hey." I would love to hear you talk a little bit more about Super Team movies and maybe where they're going in the future. I don't know. That's the thing, because it seems like the only game in town currently is Marvel. Because DC can't get it together. I did finally see Justice League post.
Oh, okay.
And that movie is a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fully a mess.
I mean, it really sucks because I mean the tragedy that happened to Zack Snyder's family, and so like he wasn't even like and not to say that he would have made a very good film, like, or figured it out, but at the very least, it would not have been the Joss Whedon, Zack Snyder, like, mishmash. And yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this, like, maybe a couple episodes ago, how I thought the last Avengers movie was, good, but I was fine.
But it was also very self-indulgent. And I think maybe the one thing that's going to have to happen, especially since The Eternals is going to be something new and different, hopefully.
Yes, with a female director.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao, and like supposedly a queer character in Hercules. If he's in it, I don't know. Like, there's all sorts of rumors surrounding it. And then eventually down the line, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Suicide Squad 2 for DC. Like,
even thinking, and so like sorry.
I think they're going to have to be a little less self-serving because I don't want to say masturbatory, but there's many moments of Endgame which feel like they're into getting the audience off on, like, hey, look at this thing. Hey, look at this thing. We remember this. Do you remember this? And these other movies can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, sometimes I love a good fan service.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, you know what? That's all I fucking wanted, okay?
Right.
Thank you.
And I guess I can't complain too much because one of the reasons I don't like Infinity War is because it doesn't feel like a movie, and Endgame does feel like a movie. It has like a beginning, middle, and end. It has a structure. It feels self-contained, even though it's about all these other things that happened before.
I see what you're saying, but I think I personally had more fulfillment watching Infinity War just because it felt like the stakes were higher. In this movie, I will never live down or like get over the fact that the entire like plot of this movie gets going because a fucking mouse lets Ant-Man out of the whatever realm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right. So you guys couldn't figure out how to fucking get him back, is what you're telling me. It's like an accident. And that just felt like so dumb and silly to me, and whatever.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah. But also, I was gonna say the new Thor movie that they're releasing.
Yes.
We talked about how like the Ragnarok kind of is like a team up movie. It's not like official, but like it is. And Love and Thunder, I guess, is the new one going to be called.
There better be some Tessa Natalie kissing.
I mean, hello? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And we're going to get to Natalie in a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Bitch gamed the system.
We did Guillermo del Toro.
Who has a new movie coming out this summer that he produced, which is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which I still think should be an anthology film, but based on the latest trailer, it's clearly not.
And then we got into 2018. We did Gina Davis, who we love. We stand.
She has a new documentary coming out. The Gina Davis Institute produced it, and she didn't direct it, but like it's about women in Hollywood, and it seems like it's literally everybody. Like it's like Rashida Jones and Meryl Streep, and just all these different actors from many, many years talking about how Hollywood has fucking shortchanged women.
Remember the kids' books in the 50s, See Dick, See Jane? And I just felt like, we see Dick all the time. I just wanted to see more Jane.
So good for Gina Davis. She's also going to be on Glow Season 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she is doing the work.
I love Gina.
We did Stanley Tucci.
He's in everything.
He's everything. And then the 23rd episode was Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Good old Natalie P. I do want to say, I think the way that she played Marvel
so
like
hard.
A harp from hell.
Yeah.
Like to quote the Penguin, she said,
bitch, you thought.
Yeah. She went out there and was like, no, I'm not doing these films. Trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
She gave me trash. She didn't even come back. This is the fun thing. We've been talking about Endgame.
Uh-huh.
She has a bunch of scenes in Endgame. They're not her.
Mm-mm.
They're deleted scenes from Thor: The Dark World. She came in and looped some dialogue.
Amazing.
Then she shows up at the premiere, just like, oh, I did work.
Yeah.
Cashing those checks.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Hey, do you remember me? I'm the person who hates this.
Go see Vox Lux.
And then she comes out of fucking San Diego Comic-Con and she's like, bitch, I'm Thor now.
The true gag of it all. Like, can you, like, she was like, I mean, I guess, like, why don't you? I mean, I'll come back, but make me Thor.
Yeah. How many zeros?
Yeah. But also, I mean,
get the hammer. Okay.
But that's also like, also, it all comes back to fucking Ragnarok. Like,
yes,
Taika Waititi is such a voice and like entertainer. Like, if I was Natalie Portman and they were like, yeah, well, Taika's gonna write something for you or whatever,
right.
I'd be like, okay, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing I sort of hate about these movies having to deal with real world consequences. Is they're like, Natalie Portman doesn't want to do our films. Okay, we'll write her out, but we're not even gonna like write her out in an interesting way where they're just gonna be like, oh, they broke up.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. Stupid. I hate that. But good for Natalie and get that bank, honestly. And she's such a talented actor that like but you did mention Vox Lux came out in between, which is a movie I didn't love, but I don't hate either.
I just love how nervy she is.
Yeah.
Like, literally everything that she does, she's committed to it, and she's gonna do the dumb accent. She's gonna, like, you know, really be physical about it. Like, it's never a boring performance.
This is a culmination of my life's work so far. You know, we worked on it for 2 years before bringing it to the public.
Why 2 years?
Well, the year before that, I was under a lot of stress after my accident. And it's an expensive show to put on. I wanted to make sure all the best people became available. You know, I wanted all my best dancers back.
With the decision to kick things off in New Brighton, you must have considered the event like a homecoming resurgence since the accident and the arrests for causing serious injury by dangerous driving.
Injury, not serious injury. And I never stopped making music, so I don't consider it a resurgence.
Well, this is one of the things I think is interesting about the movie, and I don't know if anybody's else feels this way, but I've had this conversation with a couple people. Like, the music intentionally gets worse as the movie goes on, right? Like, the pop songs become dumber.
Well, I like dumb pop songs, so it's really hard for me to tell. It's really hard for me to tell.
But that's what I was like, Sia knows what she's doing, right? Yeah.
I gasped because I just remembered that to play this catch-up game, I watched My Blueberry Nights.
Oh, yes!
And
wow, you really are getting hot.
I know. I watched that movie. That movie was fucking weird as fuck. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this filmmaker was trying to do. There's clearly some style and like thinking here, but like I didn't get it. Jude Law's whatever. Norah Jones is such a sweet, sweet, sweet girl. An actress she is not.
Yeah.
And Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz is in this movie. She's the best part of this movie.
I love Rachel Weisz, and I mean, I love Wong Kar-wai, and I still, in my heart of hearts, I still feel like defending that film in the fact that, like, just as I think an American filmmaker going and making a movie about Hong Kong would maybe feel fake and inauthentic, and not even maybe, would feel fake and inauthentic. I think having Wong Kar-wai make his first American film, and a lot of it's about the heartland, like, and a little bit about New York City, but like it feels so artificial, and it's just not as ballpark. Well, it's
fucking 3 Billboards. It's like that fucking Irish dude. What's his name? Whatever the fuck his name is. Whatever his name is.
McDonough.
McDonough. Like, making a movie about, like, a specifically American, you know.
Right, like, his Irish stuff is so good.
Yeah.
Anyway. Cripple of Inishman.
Then we did our queer cinema episode. I tweeted that I finally saw The Edge of 17, and it fucking rocked my world.
You're not talking about the Haley Stanfield?
No.
Okay.
This is a movie that was made in, like, the 80s. The fashion is incredible. The music, incredible. I fucking watched it on Canopy before it died.
Oh yeah.
So sad.
I mean, Canopy,
sucks.
Deserved it a little bit.
Yeah, they were charging too much.
Yeah.
But I love that movie, and if
Canopy's not the one I'm thinking of. Canopy's not the one that was free on for the library. Right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah. Well, they were like extorting libraries too, so it's a little bit of their own fault. Yeah.
The library is just good for them. Then we did Rita Moreno, who we love.
Yes.
Her show just got rescued.
Yes.
So
thank you, Pop TV.
Thank you, Pop TV. We love.
And she's going to be in West Side Story in a role written and created for her for the movie. And I think that's like I'm always have my issues with Spielberg, but like that's the sign that I feel like I need to be like, okay, I'm ready.
Yep.
Also, I have my tickets for Eva Van Ho's West Side Story.
What is
I'm going in December.
going on? I'm seeing ads for this version. It looks like an ASOS commercial.
It's the first version on Broadway without Jerome Robbins' choreography.
Oh.
And so that's what I'm excited about.
Choreography.
Because I think even the Spielberg version is using the Jerome Robbins choreography.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's wild about the new West Side Story on Broadway is literally there's no stars attached to it.
No, they're all new.
And the ads are just like all like kind of Twinkie POC, like ASOS kids. We'll see. We love West Side Story.
It's like all those commercials that used to air during Gilmore Girls that are like, hi, welcome to the airy chat room. Let's talk about Jesse.
Very that. Then we get into Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Which was a movie.
He had that show, kidding. I think it's coming back for a second season. His other show, I'm Dying Up Here, was canceled. Yep. And I think that's all he's doing, really. And that episode, I still think, I don't know, it's somewhere in the middle in terms of our listen to episodes. I think that episode, not to court controversy, but should be more controversial because I'm so fucking negative in that episode.
Well, I think that maybe speaks to like, do people care about Jim Carrey anymore?
Right. And
I don't know.
that's it.
I mean, it's what I was talking to Derek about this. I was like, we were all little boys who loved The Mask and loved Liar Liar because it was a silly man being able to like have fun and be silly on stage, and it gave us permission to be silly. But now it's just kind of like,
yeah.
There is no one really like that for kids now, I don't think, which is a shame. Then we talked Jane Fonda.
Our first guest episode, Dan Mecca of the B-Side.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on, Dan. You're an amazing guest. Jane hasn't really done anything else other than her documentary came out. Yep. And it's really good. And I will honestly say, especially since I read the book for that episode, it's like watching the book on screen. I got to see it on a plane, but I guess that's a place to watch a documentary. Jane Fonda in 5 acts. It came out on HBO. It's really good.
That episode I really enjoyed, actually.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Then we did Sandra Bullock.
Sandy B.
I don't know if she's done any.
She has. She did Bird
Box. Yeah.
So our next episode after that was Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, who we saw in all Ant-Man things.
Yeah, he was there for 5 minutes in Avengers Endgame.
Collecting checks.
Yeah, and getting de-aged. He loves getting de-aged. I don't know if there's an actor that likes getting de-aged as much as Michael Douglas.
He's like, I'm young, I'm hip.
I broke a hip.
Then we did our 30th episode with Cher.
Yes. Cher is one of my favorite episodes. I don't think it's as well listened to episode.
Really?
And this is not me chastising our audience, because obviously you guys listened, but like if you could get out and just spread the gospel of Cher.
Because truly that was maybe one of the most fun episodes I had watching. There was not really a lot of movies where I was like, oh, I have to watch this.
Right.
All of those I was like, yes, mermaids, everything else that I watched for that.
Tea with Mussolini. Oh wait, no, that was
Tea with Mussolini was the one that I was like, okay,
that was
what's
my
going on here?
Like I said, there's scenes in that movie that literally is just like she's just not even listening to her co-stars.
The Five and Dime and Jimmy Dean.
Oh, come back to the Five and Dime and Jimmy Dean.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's so good. Cher has a Broadway show currently that she's not in, but it's about her life, and it is closing in less than a month. So get your tickets, girls.
Then we did Ewan McGregor. Fine episode.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh, though, is another great episode.
I fucking loved Michelle Yeoh episode, and it's weird that it was a year ago.
It is weird, really. I love episodes where like I get to like really investigate and explore and like see things that I just would never have gone and like seen. Her movies were so fun to watch.
Yeah,
and it just we talked about it in the episode. She's a badass bitch.
She's not done another film that has come out since, but she did do the second season of Star Trek Discovery, and let me tell you, they know what they have in her. They gave her every single funny fucking line that they could. She's an evil. I'm just gonna spoil it for you if you haven't seen the first season. In the second season, she's basically an evil doppelganger of her character from the first season.
Oh, okay.
Because she's from the Mirror Universe, and she is omnisexual. So she's hitting on every person.
You are savvier than he was.
You do know that he's gay, right?
Don't be so binary. In my universe, he was pansexual, and we had DEF CON level fun together. And you too, puppy.
Did you just call me puppy?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's great.
I will say also in my film, my YouTube film studies, the same guy also talked about Sunshine, which was that my 5-star review for
I think
Michelle
it was your
Yeoh?
5-star review.
It might have been. I can't remember, but
I think it was.
But I love that movie.
Yeah.
And just furthermore, it furthered my. I'm like, I do love that fucking movie. You're right. And she will be. Are we seeing her
in the sequel to
Crazy Rich Asians?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Yes, that's okay. Moving on. Jennifer Garner, another episode that I requested.
Yes.
That you were.
So they're not all gems.
Drag me. People love Jennifer Garner, first of all. I think I still follow her on Instagram. She's a delight.
Yeah, and she's done like a ton of credit card commercials since. Good for her.
She's working hard on her family juice pouches, her organic hummus.
And I say this all tongue in cheek. Jennifer Garner's great. And had we not done that episode, I would have put off seeing 13 Going on 30 even longer. And honestly, that movie is a delight.
It is a delight. And you know what? Her one good scene in Love, Simon, perfect.
Robert Redford was our next episode, and he also showed up in Endgame. And it's just funny that Marvel is the one place where
it's the true connected universe.
Yeah, exactly. It's where an actor over 60 is getting. It's funny because everybody always complains that nobody hires actors over 60. Marvel will do it. But for stunts.
Yeah, fully. Also, there was like that mini viral Twitter moment where people didn't know that the nodding man was Robert Redford.
Shout out to my friend Rob who like tweeted out like, "Hey, listen to this episode," because that's how I discovered it was.
Yeah, I mean, same, but like I never thought it was. People were like, "Is it not Seth Rogen?" Or they thought it was Zach Galifianakis. I was like, "That's clearly not Zach Galifianakis."
Everybody needs their eyes checked.
We did vampires on film.
Yeah, that was our big Halloween episode this year. I don't feel like there's been a big vampire movie since.
Nope. No. We did Viola Davis. And that was our first encounter with this had Oscar buzz on our show because we had both Joe and Chris on to talk about Widows before it came out. Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun.
I feel like Viola Davis episode was also like the episode where like I almost started crying.
Yeah. Viola Davis, we went deep.
I went really emotional in my rewind with her. I don't know. I have a connection. We did Michael Keaton with Christy.
Yes.
Next.
Christy, amazing guest. Christy Puchko. Please go seek out her reviews. Ugh. Yeah, she really is. And also, Michael Keaton's had a couple films since he did Dumbo for Disney, which we brought up in the episode. It's bad, but he's the bright spot in it. And also, he did not show up in Spider-Man Far From Home, even though there were rumors he would.
Yeah, crazy. Then we did Santa Claus on film.
Yeah.
Our little holiday.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah. And then we got into this year, and our first character was Regina King.
Yeah, what a good person to start the year off with.
God, what a good person to start with. And I'm so, again, I can't, like, the reason why I feel, like, so happy doing this podcast, like, even though I'm clearly not, like, a very well-informed film person.
I mean, you've become, I don't know. I think you sell yourself short, Louis.
There are a lot of film characters in the universe who have podcasts and who are like know all the names and all the work, which is fine.
There's nobody I'd rather do this podcast.
Oh, Gavin, I'm gonna start crying again.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis
is the one person I would replace you with.
No, I'll just say though, with Regina King, if we had not done that episode, I would not have seen a lot of John Singleton films.
Yes,
any of them really.
And then he passed away.
And like I mentioned during our drag episode, it truly does enrich my life. And I think that's why people love movies. And I mean, any content really. It enriches your life and it shows like, it's just so much good texture, you know? And the New York Times also did very recently, like, black directors in the 90s. What happened? Like, there was a big boom and then they all went away. And why did I watch I Like It Like That?
That was for Rita Moreno.
So yeah, and so the director for that, which was the first African American woman to
direct a Hollywood film.
Yeah, she was part of that bunch, and all of this, and so Regina King's episode specifically, when I watched all these John Singleton films, I was like, oh my God, like this is a whole area of, again, kind of like Michelle Yeoh, filmmaking that I was not aware of, that, you know, this had not kind of infiltrated my specific part of the universe. And I'm so happy that I was able to, because I honestly love those movies. And it's also really fun to talk to other people who have known these movies and love them, and then kind of like, you know, being like, oh my God, yeah.
I still remember the first time I saw Poetic Justice. My sister Nicole rented it for a birthday party, and they didn't end up watching it, but we watched it the next day. And I remember being like, not fully, because that's a life. So I grew up in a small town, in a small backwards town in upstate New York, which is very, if you're not aware of what an upstate to New York, it can be very southern, especially in its isolation. And I was not used to that world that was presented to me. And I think I saw it before Boys in the Hood, but Boys in the Hood was like an eye-opening experience for me. For sure. Because I genuinely didn't know that there was a life like that outside of my small community. And I still to this day think that movie is, I mean, it's one of the greats. And Lawrence Fishburne's gentrification speech is literally should be taught at every school. It holds up, and it's still so true.
It reminds me of, like, you know, thinking about, like, when I watched Selena for the first time, I was like, oh, this is my community, and I relate and I understand. I've met a lot of people who are not from my community, or from like who understand that part of the world I'm from, and they like are getting a little glimpse of, you know, the Tejano world. And so, like, seeing, like, south side of LA and, you know, Oakland and all these movies, it's like, it's a very specific thing that you only see if you either live it, or there's going to be film or TV that is going to, like, show you what that life is like.
And it's nice to have a window that feels honest. And open about what is happening in those places.
And not condescending or...
real quick, because you brought up Selena, I know we're going to talk about Jennifer Lopez, but still... for all the things that you think you don't think that you bring to the table, and this is just personal, like that episode, you brought something up that I had not even thought of, which was the fact that when the movie occasionally slips into those Tejano music video moments, I've seen those music videos, but because culturally they're not ingrained in me, I didn't grow up with them, like I've seen them in a passing manner, my brain didn't go there. And I was like, oh, this is a weird thing that's happening, whatever, I like it, I dig it, but you supplied the context for that. I think that's very important.
For all your Tejano needs, just call me.
But that's the thing, is we all bring something different to the table.
Thank you, I appreciate that. After Regina, I mean, this was when we were on our tear of queens. We did Viola, we did Regina, then we did Rachel, who fucking smoking. Again, I hadn't seen a lot of her movies, but then I investigated, and God, she's so good.
Absolutely.
And thank God, I mean, The Favorite.
So good. Still so fucking good.
And then we did Julianne Moore with our guest Chris File.
Yes, this had Oscar buzz.
A very fun episode.
Absolutely. Chris, you are amazing. It's so good to know you.
We love Julianne. And then we did Cary Grant,
who's still dead.
He's still dead. After that, we did Tim Burton.
Yes.
Hasn't done anything, has he?
Yeah, Dumbo was it, and maybe stop
and goodbye. And then we did Jennifer Lopez.
Yes. Speaking of J-Lo.
Yes, we will see her again later this year in
Hustlers.
Hustlers,
a movie that is bound to win every single Academy Award. From animated short to Best Picture.
Absolutely. I mean, the work that she's doing, Constance Wu's doing. I will say, there's all the stories about Constance Wu being a diva and blah, 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 this and that. Jennifer Lopez has been dealing with that forever.
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know.
I don't give a fuck.
But that's one of the things, right? Like, I know there's some things Constance Wu has done to paint herself in that light. I don't know her personally, but it does feel a little gross that most of the attention that she's received, much like Jennifer Lopez early on in her career, is about her attitude.
Right.
It feels very much like this is a person of color. They're not allowed to ask for things.
Like, literally, fuck anyone who's like, you should be grateful you're here.
Right.
Like, no, fuck you. She's very talented, and if she's difficult on set, who cares? Like, I mean, no one says you have to. I mean, and again, I don't know who this person is, but some people get to be assholes, and it's fine. Like, a lot of people get to be assholes, and no one talks shit about them.
Right.
And being a diva or difficult to work with. Like, fuck off. Ugh. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now. After Jennifer Lopez, we did Keanu Reeves. We hit the Keanu Reeves
right before, just we went into that one full strong. And by the way, I've since seen John Wick 3, and I will say I liked it a lot better than John Wick 2. So I know, because I heard from some people were like, you didn't like John Wick 2, and I was like, no, I did not. And they were like, you can't sit with us.
Okay, right, okay.
But I like John Wick 3, please let me sit with you.
I'm back. I haven't seen the third one, but I did see the second one. I thought it was okay. I thought the first one's really great.
First one's great.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And then his Netflix film.
Yes.
I know it's not his film, but like he's the highlight of it.
Yeah.
Always Be My Maybe came out, and controversially, I did not like it at all, except for him. But
it's fine.
What is it about this game that frightens you?
I'm not frightened, Keanu. You know what? Fine. I dare you to smash that vase on your head.
What? This vase?
Yeah.
No problem.
Whoa. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, you're bleeding.
You see how easy that was, Marcus? You see how easy that was? I never cower in the face of danger.
It's like an ABC Family movie.
The thing with like a lot of Netflix movies now, they just like look like they're made for nothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of sucks.
It just feels like they're movies that they don't buy at festivals or buy like outright, that they pony up the money for. They're ponying up like $5 and they're like, go make a movie.
Well, because I mean, some of the movies are being produced by like literally YouTube production companies.
Right.
Like, To All the Boys I've Loved Before was made by like Awesomeness TV or whatever. Like,
was it?
I think that explains. Yeah, like, and that might be the wrong name of it, but like a lot of them are truly from like, I think it's YouTubers who are
like the sound mix on all. Anyways, sorry.
I think YouTubers who are trying to like pivot into like actual like filmmaking, they're able to like show off to these Netflix people or whoever, being like, we have some cameras and sound stuff. We can film things, which is interesting to see like where it goes. It feels like a very like young market of whatever. Then we did Emma Thompson with our other guest, Joe Reed.
Also of This Had Oscar Buzz. Great show, by the way. If you're not listening to that, you should be. Thank you very much for coming on, Joe. It's always a pleasure. Sorry, my voice is getting deep because I'm sick. It's always a pleasure.
You're so masked. Oh my God. Emma Thompson, who we will be seeing later this year. We did see already. So
yes, I did see Men in Black International.
Oh, how was that?
It's not good,
okay.
Bob.
It came with a clunk.
Yeah. But a fun facts for everybody, just so they know, because this is going to bring it into our next. The only things that Emma had come out between that was Late Night, which I liked her performance in, and then Men in Black International, which she's in basically for a cameo. She has 2 scenes, essentially. But our next episode was Chris Hemsworth with Joel Arnold of the D&D podcast, as well as just being a comedian out in LA, doing his thing. And Chris Hemsworth had Men in Black International come out, and go read the behind-the-scenes reports of that movie.
Of Men in Black?
Yeah, because essentially what it is Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson signed on with a completely different script about shape-shifting aliens that were a rock band like the Beatles. And it was apparently like a lot darker and more adult and more interesting. Which is funny because the only thing that's retained from that version clearly is the fact that they say shit like 90 times in the movie. Which, like, I don't care. I don't have kids, but also I feel like if I had, like, those movies are clearly for kids.
Right.
I think I'd feel weird bringing a kid where they say shit that much.
That movie definitely felt like it was marketed as like a family-friendly whatever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kumail Nanjiani plays an animated talking sidekick who's very annoying, but I also hate all animated sidekicks.
Right.
They apparently the producer of the movie essentially became the head of Sony while they were making, or the head of like Columbia Pictures, the division of Sony, while they were making the film, because the previous regime left, and he started handing them new scripts daily, rewrites daily, and he kept fighting with F. Gary Gray, who directed it, and it got so bad that Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth independently both hired writers to write their dialogue.
Wow.
At each day. So like the movie's a mess. You can see it on screen. Yeah. And it just feels, I mean, it's just so not exciting for a action movie.
Yeah.
It's
boring. It kind of sucks. Like, you know, they tried to revive this like old property that, I mean, Men in Black 1 and to a lesser extent 2 were like exciting and fun and fresh. 3 was kind of.
See, I hate 2. I don't love 3, but I think 3 is better than 2.
Is 3 the one with 3 is the one with like the hot girl, right?
No, that's the second one.
2 sucks.
Yeah.
The first one's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. But you know, we'll see Emma Thompson, right?
Yeah.
Emma Thompson later this year in is she in this movie or did she just write it? The Last Christmas.
I think she's also in it.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're like eagerly awaiting Last Christmas.
Yeah, I am.
I am. I hope it's good. Anything that Emma Thompson writes, I'm down for.
And Henry Golding?
Yeah. And we didn't mention this in our episode because it wasn't fully confirmed yet, but Chris Hemsworth, outside of Thor, to my knowledge, which I don't know when that's starting to shoot, is supposedly taking a break from acting for just a tiny bit to spend more time with his family.
Good for him. He has like 1 million kids.
Yeah. So
excellent. So like you said, we did Chris Hemsworth, and that brings us to our last episode, which was Drag on Film.
Yes. And there hasn't been any new drag films since
There has not been any drag
Yeah.
films this month.
I know.
Horrible.
It's crazy, guys.
Horrible.
The drag extended universe.
I know.
The drag cinematic universe. And
we're waiting for the sequel.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I've appreciated all the time that we've spent over the last 2 years doing this show. I know the largest complaint I get about this, which is so flattering, is people are like, "Oh, I've finished all your episodes. When's the next one coming up?" And that always feels kind of amazing. And I know, like, I don't want this to be an episode where we're just wanking each other off, but that is so nice to hear, and I always appreciate that, because I always worry that we're maybe two people just getting together, shouting into an echo chamber and just entertaining each other.
Right, but I think the premise of the show is that like we do have different opinions, different viewpoints, and thinking like you said, we bring different things to the table. I certainly think like we see movies differently, and
I'm colorblind. You're right.
You're colorblind, and yeah, I don't know. It's been fun. It's been fun, and I think we should do a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know this episode probably seems shorter than you're used to, only because our episodes have become so massive lately because we've been doing full histories. But if there is anything at all that you want us to cover, anything that you think we missed in this episode from our past 50 episodes, and anything you want to see going forward, we'd love to hear from you. You can find us online on Twitter at The Mixed Reviews.
We're on Facebook. Just type in The Mixed Reviews.
You can email us at reviewsmixed@gmail.com.
And you can listen to us everywhere.
Oh my God. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes Music.
Stitcher Radio. iHeartRadio.
Google Music. Yeah. And just anywhere that you can find us. And please do, if you listen to us on iTunes, please rate and review us. Give us a 5-star review. Write a little ditty to tell us what you like about the show.
Yeah.
We love hearing from you.
I also would be really interested to see what was the first episode you guys listened to, you know?
Absolutely.
Where did you, because it's kind of shocking. We did Anna Hathaway 4th.
Yeah. And we still get notices about it.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
She's a popular girl though.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's when did you jump on the Mixed Reviews train?
I got on probably around Chris Hemsworth. I think that's when I joined him. Yeah.
I actually have been lying this entire time. I haven't seen any of these movies. What if one day I came in and I was like, oh my God, right. And then it was like a twin. But then she drowned. It's my favorite joke of all time from 30 Rock. But then she drowned.
Oh, Louis, I love doing this with you. And thank you so much for joining me for these 50 episodes. And, this podcast wouldn't exist without you. So.
To 50 more.
Absolutely.
See you guys next time.
Cheers.
Water cheers. Isn't that bad luck?
There's no water left in mine, so
okay,
just you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. President. Happy birthday to you. Mr. President, for all the things you've done, the battles that you've won, the way you deal with U.S. Steel and our problems by the ton, we thank you so much.